Hey you guys, I'm Stacy and this is Gorgeously Aging, and today we are doing a full face of Haus Labs. I think I'm more excited about this video than any other video I've done in a really long time because I have been building my Haus Labs makeup collection for a while now, and I finally have everything, I think almost everything, or at least enough to create a full look, this look. So if you're interested in hearing how Haus Labs performs on mature skin, I'm 52, or you just want to hear more about the Haus Labs makeup, I have a ton of goodies in my dedicated Haus Labs makeup bag. If you're curious, keep on watching. So it is the simple things in life that make me truly happy, and one of those things is that I just completed my full collection of Haus Labs makeup. Since the release of the Triclone foundation, I've been pretty obsessed with this, and I have to say that the Triclone concealer is just as incredible, especially on mature skin. So I do have a few really incredible hacks for my mature skin friends like me. For those of you brand new, I am 52 years old, and for my entire adult life, I own salons, spas, and I am a medical and master esthetician. Through those 30 years, I also did a lot of hair and business management, and so getting back into playing with makeup, playing with hair, and helping others reach their skincare goals is really something that makes me happy. So this is my 52-year-old skin. I do not use a filter on my camera or in editing, and one of the things that I will say really helps makeup go on well is if you have a really good foundation, which means a really good skincare routine. If you're unsure where to start, I do have some videos and some shorts that do help with kind of the fundamentals of a good skincare routine and how to get your skin in the best shape possible. So I will list all of the details and colors of the items I use in the description box below. So I did start off today with my skincare routine, including some tinted sunscreen by Color Science. It is the Flex Tinted Sunscreen. It is wonderful. I've been playing around with a few different sunscreens. There's one by Perricone MD that is a combination vitamin C, moisturizer, and sunscreen. If you like a combo product, check into that one. You get 3 really great things in one product. So I'm going to take a couple pumps of this. So if you're finding that your foundation is not looking as good on your skin as you've aged as it used to, that's when you want to add a little bit of moisturizer to the formula. Make it a little bit thinner, make it more like a tinted moisturizer. Also make sure that you've got AHA, BHA, some type of chemical exfoliant in your skincare routine, whether that be mild in your toner or a little more aggressive as a glycolic type serum or some type of exfoliating product. This is going to keep your skin really, really smooth and the makeup will look better. So this Triclone foundation by Haus Labs is one of my favorites for mature skin. It is really beautiful. It has a soft glow, but if you're not big into foundation, definitely just do 1 pump and an equal size amount of your favorite moisturizer for a very soft finish. It'll give you just a little bit of tint and glow without the skin looking like it has too much makeup on it. So I'm using the BK Beauty brushes. I got these a while ago and just tested them out recently, and I really do like them. The foundation brush has a really nice shape to it. I like how it blends out the foundation. None of this was sent to me, you guys. I buy almost everything myself because I don't want to influence you to buy anything that I'm not willing to pay for myself. That doesn't mean I don't like PR, but I'm very picky about which PR I accept. I definitely never want to recommend to you a product that I wouldn't pay my own money for. Unless I already love the product genuinely, I definitely will never take money to talk positively about a product I wouldn't pay for myself. I'm going to go ahead with the concealer, and I love this concealer, you guys. It's really one of the nicer concealers on mature skin. Well, just in general, but it is very flattering on mature skin. I'm going to give a little bit of extra coverage right here and down the bridge of my nose and right here. And I have a little contour hack, you guys, that I think you're going to really love. Now, the lashes I have on today are my brand, Gorgeously You Luxe Lash, and these are lash clusters. So they get applied to the underside of the eyelash. So a DIY lash extension, I'll link them down below. They're very affordable and very comfortable. Now, in many of my favorite concealers, I also buy a dark, and this is so I can do my contour. Haus Labs doesn't have a cream contour, and so I am using this, and a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to take a little bit of this on the back of my hand and a little bit of any kind of cream. This is the MAC Hyper Real balm, canvas balm. It's like a little lotion. Just going to take a little bit of that, like that. And I'm going to use the same brush I used on my foundation, and I'm going to mix that. And this becomes the most perfect cream contour slash bronzer. I like to keep it up high, and I also like to get some on the sides of my nose to create a little nose contour. And then you just keep going back on the back of your hand, and I'm going to go along my jawline. Once you guys start doing this, you'll probably never go back to a regular cream contour because this works out so nicely. You can adjust the opacity and the intensity for, you know, how you want it. And because the formula of concealers is a little bit more long wear, I think it stays on so much better. Just gonna blend this out a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna do a little bit around my hairline. And then I'm gonna take a tiny bit of this dark concealer, and I'm just going to put a dot right above my natural crease here. And that's it, just a little dot. And then I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush and just start working that in. And I'm going to create an upward lift. And you don't need much of that contour, the dark contour color, for it to be effective. You only need a little bit. And it does dry pretty fast, so you kind of want to work quickly. So maybe just do one eye at a time if you're not used to it. And this is a really good way to lift a hooded eye. So I always do all my cream products, and then I'll move on to some setting powder and all my powder products. So I have the Haus Labs blush, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. A little goes a long way. This is a really light color, but I have a powder that's a little more intense, and you'll see that, and it's really beautiful. It's not something I would normally pick, but when you put it on, it's absolutely gorgeous. My daughter saw it and she's like, that is a shocking pink, but when you put it on your cheeks, it doesn't look that way. Now, of course, you don't have to use makeup brushes. You can do this all with your fingers or with a sponge. I've been really enjoying these BK Beauty brushes. I actually had my eye on them for a really long time, but being kind of cheap, I didn't pull the trigger. And when I finally did, they sat in the box for a while, and then I finally pulled them out recently, and I'm really happy that I bought them. Okay, so there's all the cream products. I'm going to put a little bit of this blurring powder. I really love this, and look at how this packaging is. So it's got like a mesh pad, and it doesn't get messy because of the way that they designed the lid. So I'm just going to go in with the powder brush. I'm going to lightly powder this, and it doesn't accentuate fine lines and wrinkles. A little bit of this powder goes a long way. You don't have to use too much, but it does have a really nice blurring effect. I typically focus it more on the T-zone, and then whatever's left, I kind of dust around the face. See how nicely this with a little bit of cream, a little bit of lotion worked for the contour. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what brand. I really like the Haus Labs, but if you have a darker concealer, preferably in a more cool or neutral tone, it works out fantastic for sculpting the face. I'm going to move to this brush for under the eye, going in with a little bit of that blurring powder. Definitely don't like too much powder under the eyes, just enough to kind of set things and make them look a little blurred. Okay, I need some brows on before I move on to anything else. This is the Haus Labs The Edge Precision Brow Pencil, and let me tell you, it does have a really nice precision tip. So it makes it nice if you want a very natural looking brow. You definitely could amp it up and make it a little more dramatic, but I like being able to make these upward hair strokes. And then as I get over towards the mid part of my brow, I start to go a little bit more at an angle up to the arch, and then curve it down. And then I'm just going to fill in the tail a little bit. This is an area where a lot of us as we age really lose a lot of brow hairs. And then it does have a spoolie end, which is nice for just kind of flicking everything upward, making it look a little bit more natural, blending it in, but you can see the difference. So I will say I'm pretty particular about brow pencils, and I wasn't expecting to like this one, but it is really nice. I especially like the tone. It gives you a really nice natural looking brow, and for me, I think the tone is spot on. So I'll list this color in the description. If you have complexion coloring like mine, or you're looking for a brow color like this, you could definitely make it darker by going in a little heavy-handed, but I like the subtlety of this, and I think it looks really natural. So the only thing I'm going to use today that isn't Haus Labs, because they don't have one, is this Patrick Ta clear brow gel. Now I have almost no natural brow hairs, and I usually use a tinted brow gel, but this intrigued me and it is really fantastic. So it has a flat side and a side that has kind of your traditional spoolie shape. I'm going to go in with the flat side first, apply some clear gel. It kind of just gives the tiny bits of hairs I have there a little bit more body and seals everything in. So I'm going to use the flat side here again on this and just brush everything up with the flat side, kind of like a little brow lamination. And then you could leave it like that, or you could take the spoolie side, and it dries down pretty quickly and you can go through with that spoolie. But for me, being so brow and lash deficient, this, I think, just kind of when you see it in person especially, really gives more emphasis to the natural hairs that are there. This makes that pencil kind of recede to the background and the natural brow hairs stand out a little bit more. Okay, probably one of my favorite products in the Haus Labs line, besides the Triclone foundation and concealer, is the bronzer. First of all, let's just appreciate the packaging, which is so beautiful. I love the embossed H. And I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush and reinforce the contour that I put down, that cream contour, with a little bit of powder. This is an optional step. I like to do it. It makes me feel good and it makes the makeup last a little longer. You can also go over the jawline if you're trying to sculpt the jawline, hide some jowls there. And of course you can go around the hairline as well. I'm just going to wipe my lips, which are always dry this winter. But I do have the Haus Labs lip oil. This is one of my more recent purchases. It's taken me a while to build up this collection. I'm just going to get a little of that on my lips so they're not so dry. All right, you guys, don't be shocked by this blush because it's a little shocking, but you'll see it's so beautiful. When I first took it out of the package, I'm like, I am never going to use this blush, but it's gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly dip in. It's going to last me forever and just reinforce the blush on the high point of my cheeks. See what I mean? It's not nearly as intense. It could be. I just lightly dipped in, but it's so pretty. This I had to really push myself to buy because it's not something I would ever gravitate towards. I would usually gravitate towards something that's more mauve or dusty rose, but I'm so glad I picked this up. So this is the highlighter. Let's just appreciate the opalescent packaging. Can you guys tell I get really excited about packaging? I'm going to use this BK Beauty brush here. This one is the 112. And just get a tiny bit and just highlight the high points of my cheeks. I don't like a beaming highlight or really heavy highlight, but just a little subtle highlight. And above my lip too. And the Haus Labs eyeshadow palette is gorgeous. The only complaint I have about this, if I were to design it being a 52-year-old, I would have one less of these shimmers and one more matte color, something in between this one and this one. But it's still a gorgeous palette, and I'll show you my go-to look with this palette. So I'm going to start with this bone color here, or beige sandy color, and I'm just going to go ahead right above my natural crease and create a transition and just bring that down onto the lid. This is just a starting point, and I'll bring some on the inside too so that all the other colors blend nicely. Think of the transition as your like base coat. Your nail polish always looks better with a base coat, and so does your eyeshadow. I'm going to move to this beautiful color here. It's kind of a rusty color. Same brush, just come down just above that crease, the natural crease, and if you have hooded eyes, just go above the natural crease. I'm a little hooded and I'm a little deep set. So I'm just going to kind of build up the intensity, a little more color here. I like to keep it high just to give the eye a little lift. And little circular motions. You don't have to be heavy-handed here, just a very light touch. And then I like to flick it upward towards the tail of the brow just to create some lift. And do the same thing over here. And of course, because we created a little bit of eye contour with that dark concealer, eyeshadow isn't always necessary. For me, I enjoy doing eyeshadow and I like how it looks. So I'm going to go back in, same fluffy brush, and just add a little more here to the corner and blend it in towards the center of the eye. And then I'm going to move on with a smaller brush like this, and I'm going to go into that starting color, and we're just going to use that bone color or that beigey color, and do the same thing on the lower lash line. And then go in with that rust color. We're kind of joining that upper eyeshadow with the lower lash line. Now with this smaller BK Beauty brush, this one is the 211, It's got a little taper on it. We're going to go into this darkest color. It's kind of a deep, rich, brownish plum. You can see just the ever so slightest bits of purple undertone. And I'm just going to give this a tiny bit more definition right above the natural crease, just to deepen things up. With that layering of color, you get a beautiful depth, and it just creates a more dynamic look. It's not necessary, but kind of art is my thing, and so I know when I'm drawing too, the more you layer, the more you develop these shades, everything just starts looking better. That's something I always loved as a kid, was art and drawing. Get that from my mom. And I went through a phase of drawing portraits like people, and I still enjoy doing that, but it takes a lot of patience and just time developing the lightness and the shadows, and really it's just such a time-consuming process. I love it, and I would love to get back to doing portraits and doing paintings and drawings, but makeup is my art escape. Now I'm going to take this little pencil brush, again by BK Beauty, and go into that same deep color and just keep it to the outer corner. Now there are some gorgeous shimmers in here. Let me just swatch them for you. These shadows have an absolutely beautiful texture. They're not too dry. They aren't too powdery. You don't get a lot of fallout. They have a richness and creaminess to them. They blend well, and I think she did a really good job. My only complaint would be just one less of these shimmers, but I know everybody has a difference of opinion there. I just think one more matte color would be fantastic. I did pick up a few of the high power pigment paints, and I want to show them to you because they really are beautiful. I probably would use these more for a night look, but let me just swatch them and show you what they look like. I'm going to put the lighter of the two on right now. So here they are. I think they're gorgeous. I went a little heavy-handed on my swatches there. This one is called Rose Gold Shimmer. I'm going to use that one today. It's beautiful. And this one is called Copper Shimmer. Another gorgeous color. So let's use the lighter of those two. And I'm just going to go in and tap a little bit into that because I put way too much on my hand. You don't need much. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the center part of my movable lid. And of course, if you were going out or you wanted more, layer it up. All right, I'm going to clean off these lashes because the lashes do get a little bit of the eyeshadow powder on. I'm just going to use a spoolie and some water, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I did pick up two pencils, the black and the brown. This one's actually called Deep Cocoa Matte. So I'm going to use this one, I think, and just give myself a little bit of an upper liner really close to the lashes. And the other side of this pencil has a little brush we can use to smudge it out if we want. And here's the little brush side. Now it's, when you first get it, it's a little stiff, so I always like just to go like this on the back of my hand and kind of soften it up a little bit. And then if you want to smudge it out or drag it up a little bit, you certainly can. Or use your finger. I often do that. If I have a little bit of excess here in the corners, I'll just take my finger and pull it up a little bit, which creates a little bit of a cat eye or a winged liner. Another trick is to put a little bit on your hand, let your body heat warm it up a little bit, take the brush, dip it in there, go to the corner of the eye, and just create your soft wing. See, it's really soft, but you can definitely see it. Now this is the matte lip crayon. If you're going to use a matte lip and you're over 40, definitely start with some kind of a lip oil or Aquaphor to hydrate the lips first. I love this because it's so easy to put on and it glides on really smoothly, but it does stay on very well. So I have, besides the lip oil, these are the other two lip products that I have. I love the lip oil. This one is that matte lip crayon, or is it called lip pencil? I totally got this wrong. This is Le Monster Lip Crayon, and it is in the color Rose Matte. I think I said dust, but it's in rose matte and it is beautiful. It is just such a lovely color to wear every day. At least for me, it is definitely a color that I will wear often. But this product is really interesting. You gotta shake it. And it is called Atomic Shake Lip Lacquer. And this is in the color Rosewood. And I often layer this on top of that matte crayon. Just for depth of color and shine, and it also wears off better if you have a couple of layers. So I'm going to let that dry in. So this eyeliner is the first product I bought from Haus Labs years ago when they first came out. I haven't used it in a while, but yeah, it looks like it still has held up really well. I love taking a liquid liner and just tight lining, especially if I'm wearing lashes. Tight lining the lash line. You can also use it to get any dust off your lashes or just give them a little more pigment. So looking at the whole picture, I feel like I want a little bit darker brow. Now that's personal preference, but I feel like this look supports a little bit more brow work. There's some days I really like a very soft brow, and then sometimes, I think when I'm wearing a stronger lip, I like a little bit stronger brow. What do you think? The stronger brow or the lighter brow? You guys comment below, let me know which side you liked better. I also feel like I could take that brown eyeliner and just get a little bit in the corner. I have very few lashes in the bottom lash line, well, in general, and I'm just going to give a little oomph to the bottom corner. I used to do this with black a lot, but I feel like brown is just so soft on a mature face. Not that there's anything wrong with black. Obviously, I bought a black, but then I'm going to go back to this little brush, and it has a little bit of eyeshadow yet on it from before, and just blend in that lower lash line. So I don't have a Haus Labs mascara, but if I did, I would hit those bottom lashes. I'm not even sure if Haus Labs has a mascara, to be honest. I don't remember seeing one. But I would have to say the superstars in this line are going to be the foundation, the concealers, both fantastic. I love this blurring powder, definitely a showstopper for me, one of the better powders I've used in a very long time. The cream blush is really great if you love a cream blush product, but you guys don't forget, even though this one looks a little scary, it's gorgeous. I could leave the highlighter, it's beautiful, but I don't always use a highlighter, but I definitely love the bronzer. The eyeliners are nice, they glide on easy, they stay on well. I don't think they're mind-blowing, but they're very nice. I would say all three of these lip products are fantastic. If I could only pick one, just because my lips are so dry, I would have to go with the lip oil, but these are really beautiful, and I think this Atomic Shake is such a cool product. Do you have any of the Haus Labs products, and what do you think? What are your favorites? Comment down below. Okay, I feel so much better with my hair done. You guys, thank you so much for being here today, for sharing a part of your day with me. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, I would love to have you join the Gorgeously Aging family by subscribing to my channel. Please remember what I always say, be good to yourselves and to others. The world needs that, and I will see you in my next video.